Good morning. Faust here, Mr. Faust, otherwise known as Joe, coming at you. Look, I'm doing a video on this Varathane stain poly. I'm really liking it. I just tried it. Usually I stain and then poly, but I came up with this wall here. See how this wall was all wore out kind of? So what I'm doing is I'm taking this Varathane stain and poly and I'm coating over it. Okay, I want it to look like this kitchen here. I wanted it lighter than the cabinets. The cabinets are golden oak, and the siding, lap siding, is basically a classic oak. So this in here, there's just touch-up spots, if you could see, that I'm going to take the Varathane stain and poly, and then I'm going to go over it with just the poly. Okay, right here has to be addressed. That'll be washed and sanded. Okay, now whenever you stain and sand, folks, or stain and poly, you want to prep it properly. If you don't prep it properly, then it's not going to look right. And a lot of times we try to take shortcuts, but on this job here, okay, I sanded it with a sanding block, and I got most of the old stuff off, the old stain. You can see the difference. So this looks more like the kitchen right now. Okay, I may have to do another coat to make it a little bit darker, but that's what it looked like. I'm trying to take different case scenarios that you run into and what your options are. Okay, sticking on the topic of Varathane. Varathane is, good for all your stain and poly products. So I also want to talk about this floor here. Okay, this floor is a disaster. First of all, I wouldn't use this tongue and groove like this, but we're trying to do it the cheapest way possible. Now here I put the walnut stain on, but as you can see, it's just not going to match the old floor and just, make it simple for us. Okay, so what I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to take a paint, an oil-based paint, a deck paint actually, and we're going to coat this floor so we don't run into this situation again. And the paint will fill in some of these cracks. My third project are these windows. Okay? These windows here, these are going to be golden oak like the cabinets. Okay, but on the same token, you have to sand them down. See, I use my patch, my plastic wood. Okay, I'll show you that. Plastic wood. This I already stained with the golden oak. Okay, so this one turned out pretty good. Now what we're going to do is take the poly and we're going to go back over these with the poly. Reason for that is this part here was just natural, and this part here was already coated with a coat of stain. So I'm trying to match this to this, and that's why I'm using the stain without the poly. Now, you see the cabinets. I used the golden oak Varathane. Okay, and that came out really good. But I had to do all the prep work, folks. You can't skip out on sanding. And then you want to make sure air blow all the sawdust off, or take yourself an old paintbrush and just get all your sawdust off. Now plastic wood, this is your plastic wood. This I find is the best when you're using stain and poly to fill the wood with this. It comes in a natural. This is natural. I also have plastic wood. Now this is the golden oak. So I just bought this golden oak for the parts that were already stained, and I'm using that. Now it's important on this plastic wood to keep it upside down. The label's on upside down for a reason, because it keeps all the liquid inside of the solid material. So the plastic wood is what you see here. You leave that set for about 15 minutes, and then you sand it off. This I use the golden oak. Now if it's natural wood like this, you can use the natural wood and then stain over it. As you can see, I used the golden oak just because I had it open. Up here, I'll put a coat of stain just to uplift it, and then I'll coat this sill plate 2 coats to match it up. Okay? So, again, to go back over this, we're using Varathane stain and poly. Varathane makes stain separate from poly, but this is a product I've been experimenting with and I'm really happy with it. So if you have a project, you're going to want to do a little research on, what's your best way to attack the project. I just showed you 3 different methods. Okay, and then in the end, like our floor, you may just realize that painting is the best method. Now I'm gonna say that on the floor, more than likely you're going to want to use an oil base because there's already stain and poly on this, so your water base isn't going to stick too well to it. So you're going to want to use an oil-based paint. Okay, stick your oil bases on the oil-based surfaces and your water base on the water-based surfaces. When I say water-based, you know that I mean water-based paint. Now, we're going to have to sand off these tape spots too. But this is what this looked like. Somebody else sanded off the tape spots. So I'm just trying to match it. It's not going to match, so it's going to have to be done the whole floor like this. So like I said, we're contemplating just putting a black oil-based paint. Okay, your water base is the latex. So if you have any questions, I know on this woodworking, it is a lot of work, but in the end, it does really look good. So leave your questions in the comments. Like and subscribe, guys.